In this video we're going to show you how you can fasten your webbing into a loop and how you can tie it in a double up daisy chain, as you see here, for compact storage. Now, to make an 8 to 9 foot webbing loop, you're going to need a section of webbing 19 to 20 feet in length. Here we have a section of 1-inch tubular webbing, which is rated at 4,000 pounds. You notice on the webbing that you have landmarks. Typically you'll see a stripe or double stripes on one side and the other side will be blank. And this is important to kind of note when we get into balancing out the webbing when you fasten the water knot. So start with one end and tie an overhand knot. Coming out of that overhand knot, you want about a 3 to 4 inch tail. Flip that overhand knot over so that the tail coming out of it is on top, as you see here. Here's where the landmarks come into play. So with this on top, I'm going to run the webbing all the way out to make sure that there's no twists. When you get to the opposite end, you notice that on top is one stripe and here's the other one. So pair stripe to stripe and follow that overhand knot through. Give yourself a little extra tail. Now flip it over so you can balance out the tails. Make your adjustments as necessary. That's pretty even. So if you look at the top of the water knot, tail coming out on top of the webbing, you have stripes showing and stripes showing. So pair blank side to blank side and you're going to reconfirm that there's no twists in the webbing. So run it back out. Starts to bunch up, just hang on to one end, refeed it out, and if you did it right, once you get to the end, you'll reconfirm that there's no twists. Come back to your water knot, and now you want to seat it to kind of cinch it up and hold it in place. So again, reconfirm that they're balanced out, and then tighten up the water knot as tight as you can make it and work to seat those ends. And that'll help lock it in place and prevent the webbing from loosening up. Okay, to tie your double up daisy chain, you're going to start at the water knot end. Confirm that both tails are coming out the top of the water knot so you see stripe to stripe. Bring the water knot all the way at the end and flip it over. Blank side to blank side in this case. Run the webbing all the way out to make sure there's no twists. Once you get to the terminal end, you're going to take that end and bring it all the way to the top of the water knot. So you have 4 layers. Run it out again to make sure that those layers are stacked and that there's no twists. Hang on to the webbing as you do this. When you get to the end here, you're going to have to do some adjustments. So now we know everything's balanced out and even. Come back to the water knot end and hold it like so. I like to take it where I pinch the end of the water knot and all 4 tiers together with my thumb, index, and middle finger. And you're going to do an overhand knot right above the water knot and tuck the webbing through. This is the most critical part, so I'm going to show it to you again as we undo it. Water knot's on the bottom. All 4 layers are pinched together. I've actually included the tail. Just make a bite in the webbing. Come over the top, right where your index and middle finger are. Take a bite of webbing and insert it through. It's like you're just starting another overhand knot. Keep that bite nice and tight by the water knot. The tighter you make these bites, the more dressed out your daisy chain will be at the end. And now continue to stuff a bite of webbing through each loop that you provide. Keeping those loops tight and compact. Don't twist or turn the daisy chain as you're inserting these bites. Keep it in a neutral, centered position. When you get to your last, roughly 6 to 8 inches, take that tail now and insert it through that last bite. This is what we refer to as a safety and kind of locks the webbing in place. Rotate the daisy chain to seat all the loops, and if it did it right, you should have about a 3 to 5 inch tail coming out the end of the daisy chain. This is your safety, which prevents the webbing from unraveling during storage. Open up the end. Keep this free end or this terminal end tail available. Take the opening by the water knot and insert your carabiner. There you have it. 8 to 9 foot webbing loop stored in a double up daisy chain. To release your daisy chain, you come opposite of the carabiner and water knot to your safety. Release the free end and unsnap it. You're ready for deployment. When you're choosing a carabiner to use in conjunction with your webbing loop, avoid the hook or claw design. This tends to catch anything that you're releasing it from, making removal difficult. The preferred style is a key opening, which slides on and off whatever you're attaching to uneventfully. Whatever lock style you choose, twist locks or auto locks, is simply personal preference. Here we have pictured 3 alternatives for storing your webbing loop. One innovative idea, when you don't have pockets in your turnout pants, is to store the webbing flat underneath one of your knee pads. You can leave one end protruding out for easier removal. Second option is a simple straight roll. And finally, we have the double up daisy chain. Now you can either store this in your pocket or clip it to an accessory ring of an escape belt or seat harness.